Welcome back to Diamond Breakdown, where big names meet big analysis. Today's headline is coming straight out of the international market, and it's one that has Toronto buzzing. The Blue Jays are making a serious push to sign Japanese superstar Kazuma Okamoto. This isn't speculation. This isn't window shopping. This is a full-scale pursuit of one of the most accomplished hitters in NPB, a player whose transition to MLB has been highly anticipated for years. Let's dive right into it, because the Toronto Blue Jays have entered one of the most important pursuits of their entire off-season, maybe, of the entire last 5 years. And I'm talking about Kazuma Okamoto, the Japanese power hitter who has emerged as one of the most complete and reliable offensive players available on the global market. Now listen, when you talk about international bats, you're usually dealing with projection, with guesswork, with upside that may or may not translate. But Okamoto? This isn't guesswork. This is a proven middle-of-the-order hitter, a durable player, a disciplined plate presence, and a legitimate franchise-altering addition for whichever team lands him. And the Blue Jays, for once, are not sitting quietly. They are not letting the Dodgers or Giants dominate the storyline. Toronto is pushing, aggressively, intentionally, and with a clear understanding that this offseason cannot end in another almost. So let's break this down properly. Let's talk about who Okamoto is, why the Jays want him, what he brings, who they're fighting against, and what this pursuit says about Toronto's direction as a franchise. Okamoto is 27, prime years, not aging out, not declining. He is at the beginning of his best baseball. And in Japan, with the Yomiuri Giants, he has delivered season after season of elite production. We're talking 30-plus homers multiple times, an OPS consistently around 850 to 900, excellent hard-hit metrics, strong swing decisions, and a track record of durability that is rare anywhere, let alone in NPB. But here's the thing that separates Okamoto from a lot of other NPB hitters who've come over. His swing is MLB-ready from day one. Compact, explosive, efficient. He doesn't overswing. He doesn't chase home runs. They happen because the swing is naturally built for loft, and he handles velocity. That's the big one. Because when hitters cross over from Japan to MLB, you're asking them to adjust to major league fastballs at the top of the zone. Okamoto already has the mechanics to handle that. Let's be honest, the Blue Jays need a hitter like this more than almost any contending team in baseball. They've spent 2 straight years struggling to find offensive identity. They were elite in 2021, electric in 2022 at times, and then flat in 2023. The home run power disappeared. The situational hitting fell apart, and there was no stabilizing presence outside of Guerrero Jr. and Bichette. A team with postseason expectations cannot survive with a lineup where pitchers fear only 1 or 2 spots. It doesn't work, and the Jays know that. So what does Okamoto fix? 1. He gives you a real cleanup hitter. Not a platoon guy, not a streaky bat, not a replacement-level fill-in. A real, everyday power threat. 2. He gives you positional versatility. He can play third base. He can play first base. He can DH without wasting value. The Jays love versatility. Okamoto fits that mold with impact. 3. He balances the entire lineup. His presence behind Guerrero Jr. forces pitchers to adjust. You can't pitch around Vlad with a 30 HR hitter waiting behind him. 4. He stabilizes an offense that has been inconsistent for too long. Toronto doesn't just need talent, they need dependability. Okamoto is consistent. 5. He brings a superstar energy the Jays have been missing. This matters more than people think. Toronto has been trying to make a statement move since the 2021-22 window. Okamoto could be that move. If the Jays land him, this is likely the offensive structure. Springer, Bichette, Guerrero Jr., Okamoto, Kirk, Varsho, Schneider, Biggio, center field platoon or internal option. And suddenly, this is not a bottom-heavy lineup anymore. Suddenly, Toronto goes from being a pitching-first team to a balanced team with a legitimate heartbeat in the middle. The Jays lacked fear. Opposing teams didn't fear them. Okamoto changes that. This is where things get tricky, because Toronto is not alone in this pursuit. Not by a long shot. The Dodgers are always in the picture. They have money, market, prestige, and a long history of integrating Japanese players successfully. The Giants need star power desperately and have been aggressive in international markets for years. The Mariners have the strongest cultural and market appeal for Japanese players in all of MLB, period. Seattle is always a threat. And the Cubs? Well, the Cubs are lurking, as they always do, looking for star-level upside without committing to a full rebuild or a full push. So Toronto's pitch has to be sharp. It has to be emotional, strategic, and honest. They cannot sell him on being one of the guys. They must sell him on being the guy. And that's the one advantage Toronto genuinely has. He would immediately become the face of their next competitive window. Not buried, not overshadowed, not one of 8 superstars. He'd be central to everything the Jays do. Toronto can offer Okamoto 1. Guaranteed playing time at his preferred position. He will start in MLB immediately. 2. A multicultural city with strong Japanese support networks. This matters more than analytics ever will. 3. A stable, modern baseball infrastructure. Toronto invests heavily in tech, analytics, and player development. 4. A chance to be a centerpiece, not a secondary piece. In LA, he's behind Betts, Ohtani, Freeman, etc. In Toronto, he's the star acquisition. 5. The opportunity to help define a new era. The Jays are approaching the crossroads with Guerrero and Bichette. Adding Okamoto signals a more aggressive, globally focused strategy. Projected MLB impact. Conservatively, 2/55. 265 AVG, 25-3 Tejar, 1895 RBI, above average OBP, reliable defense, aggressively, if the bat fully translates, 70, 85 AVG, 30-36 HR, 910 RBI, and he's durable. Games played per year in Japan, usually above 135. That reliability is invaluable. What this says about Toronto as a franchise. This pursuit says Toronto is not stepping back. They're not accepting mediocrity. They're not letting their window quietly close. Instead, they are taking their shot at a player who can redefine the roster and elevate the franchise's global visibility. For too long, the Jays have been in the category of almost. Almost landed Ohtani, almost landed Yamamoto, almost made deep postseason runs. Okamoto represents a chance to stop being almost and start being intentional. Final analyst take. So here's the bottom line. The Toronto Blue Jays want Kazuma Okamoto because they need him. Not theoretically, not superficially, but structurally, emotionally, competitively. He is a perfect match for their lineup, their culture, their ballpark, and their timeline. And make no mistake, if the Jays land Okamoto, it becomes the defining move of their offseason, and maybe the defining acquisition of this era. If they miss, they're right back where they've been, searching, hoping, almost. But this time, the Jays are pushing. This time, the Jays are motivated. This time, the Jays believe they can win the race. And honestly, this time feels different.